Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be talking about self-love and worthiness. So as women, I think often we can struggle with this idea of loving ourselves, even if it's just like a few moments in our journey.
And that feeling of like not being good enough and not being worth the effort, or just not being that person that can live the life that you want to have, and it's quite a complex topic, I think.
Yeah, and it can manifest itself in so many different ways. So we've got, overeating, undereating, over-exercising. When you have those really destructive thoughts about yourself, you have to start questioning where the motivation for those sorts of things is coming from.
So today we wanted to share some of our top tips for dealing with that feeling of not being worthy and having a lack of self-love. Now, we also wanted to preface this video and these tips with the fact that you don't really arrive at a place one day where you always feel good about yourself. It's really an ongoing practice that you need to cultivate in your life, and you get better with it over time. But it's more, these tips are more skills to develop and work with rather than cures or fixes that will be, fixing your self-love forever, if that makes sense.
But it really is worth the time, because no one else can do that work for you. You really have to be putting in the time, every day to work on it and get better.
Yeah. Okay, so our first tip is to really identify the thought pattern and the core belief that is causing that lack of self-love or lack of worthiness. So we spoke about some of the manifestations of these thoughts. So it could be that you overeat, or even on the other side you could undereat, or you could be really pushing yourself in the gym. And it can come from different motivations. So our first tip is really about identifying the thought or the core belief that's actually sitting behind these activities. So is there a feeling that you're just, often it's a feeling like we're not really good enough, or there's something critically flawed about us. It's a really common belief that a lot of women or just people carry around, but it's important to actually dive deeper into is that the thought, or is it that I'm not good enough and I need to work out to get this certain type of body so that then I can accept myself. It's really important to find that thought and then, I guess, challenge it, or just recognize that it's a thought and it's not who you are. It's just a natural thought, and that you can kind of give a little distance between yourself and what's running through your mind.
So this is another way that you're practicing your mindfulness throughout your day. So when you notice those thoughts, you just want to identify them, put some space between you and the thoughts so that you're not really identifying with it and
really believing that thought
as a truth about your life, when really often it's
just
it's
a
not.
thought.
So our second tip, if you're really struggling with those feelings of unworthiness, is to acknowledge that you are already worthy. So this is not always so easy to identify when you're in the thick of it, but the fact that you merely exist means that you're worthy. So we were just talking about this before, like you would never have a newborn baby and say, is he worthy or is he not worthy? The fact that the baby exists means that it is worthy already. You don't have to do anything, you don't have to achieve anything to be worthy already. It's like inherent.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not even just about you, it's like a force greater than you and I created you. So, you are essentially good, you're essentially worthy, and you wouldn't put that judgment onto someone else or a newborn baby, which we all think is perfect. It's just kind of, as we grow up, we develop these judgments about ourselves, and that we're not good enough, or that we're essentially bad, I feel like, is a common one.
Yeah.
So really acknowledging that at your essential self, without anything added on, that you are already worthy.
And often I just like to think, like, how amazing is it that you have a body, that you have a body that's trying to keep you alive
at all times. It's doing so many hundreds and thousands of processes. So our third tip, which is another practice that you can put in place daily or as often as you want to use it, is journaling. So a good way to cultivate self-love and worthiness with journaling is to actually take some time to write down the things that you like about yourself, or things that you do well, or things that you've done well and that you can reflect positively on. because I find that we often, especially as women, we like to magnify the areas where we think we're not doing good enough, and then we kind of discard or discount the areas that we are making progress or that we are doing well in.
It's kind of like this negative bias. It's like you're only picking up on the negative things, and you never connect with all the positive things that you have that you've been doing, or your strengths.
So kind of like when you're journaling, you're often self-validating a lot of feelings and thoughts that you have by writing them down. You can also really bring to light and acknowledge the things that you really can feel good about. So it's an important thing to do, otherwise you can move through your life and through your day really, not giving yourself much recognition for the things that are good, and then just feeling bad about a handful of things, which is a bit unfair.
So this is a quick video, guys, but these are 3 actionable tips that you can start working with right now. And obviously this area is really, broad.
Big.
There's a lot that we could talk about. So we definitely want to do more videos on this topic in the future, if that's what you guys want to see. So if you want to see more videos like this, leave us a comment below.
And leave it with a thumbs up. Otherwise, we'll see you in our next video. And until then, bye.
Bye, guys.
What has changed for us since switching to a paleo and more whole foods lifestyle? My body composition has shifted in a healthy way, just to carry a little more muscle